Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast here. We're going to be talking about our reaction to the documentary that Disney just dropped. It was Disneyland Handcrafted,
Mhm.
which was a very interesting documentary. It's available on Disney Plus and on YouTube. We'll link the
Mm.
YouTube video down below. But what's interesting about it is that this is the year leading into 1955, July 17, 1955 specifically, but it's in color.
They had a color
It
to
was
it.
colorized, yes.
It was colorized, and so I guess we'll start off with initial reactions. What y'all think, and make sure you hit that subscribe button.
I
Hi,
per-
everyone. Yeah,
uh,
I was impressed.
yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I watched it twice.
Oh, you
I
did?
I feel like I didn't know they had recorded so much of the.
Well, I knew that Disney had done the show,
Oh, okay.
right? I knew that ABC was hurting for content, and Walt needed money,
Mm.
and I knew they had documented it, so I knew that that was a thing that they had that was available. But yeah, I didn't know that they recorded like that much.
Yeah,
Like,
I think a lot of the footage they used in the documentary was things that they used for the, what I can't remember the name of the TV show.
the ABC show, right? Yeah.
That ABC show that was Sunday nights, and I obviously didn't watch the ones that aired in the 50s, but it was still going in the 70s when I grew up. And so it was Wonderful World of Disney. That's what it was called.
Yes.
Okay.
And I do remember some of the footage, even in the 70s, where they would replay, oh, this is, leading up to the building of Disneyland. But
Yeah.
it was nice seeing a lot of that footage because, like, oh, that's what it looked like before, Disneyland was there.
Some of it was like, I can see my house from there.
Oh,
Could you?
I don't think there was houses there.
It was flat, but my
was-
my parents' house was built what 1957, so very shortly after Disneyland.
Mhm.
Yes, but it was like it was weird.
It's weird
It
to
was
see our city like
so
that,
so
empty
so
and
empty,
and
so dirt,
So-
just dirt everywhere.
So during the documentary, they had a segment where this gentleman was carving one of the boats, I believe, for the Peter Pan ride.
yeah.
And it was very, very detailed. And then they cut to the guy's face, and I was watching with my wife, and her reaction was like, "That guy must be 90 years old."
Well, that's what I was telling Lena. I was like, a lot of these people are still alive. Because
Yeah,
if you
I
think
would
the
say-
workers would have been in their early 20s,
Mhm. Yeah, they
Right?
could still be alive. Yeah,
they're definitely in their 90s. Because Bob Durr, I forget the guy's name.
Something, yeah.
Burr, I think it's Bob Burr.
Uh-huh.
He's goes to Disneyland regularly, and he'll be at the
Oh,
parks.
him?
Yeah, the
Oh,
super
okay.
old
Yeah,
guy.
super old guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was there for the 70th anniversary, and he drops by to Disneyland at least once a quarter just to say hi. And
Yeah, because the people that worked, that built Disneyland, the minimum age is probably 70, right? Because Disneyland is how old is Disneyland?
70.
Just
They
70
just
years old. So if you were 20, if you were a 20 something working there, then you're in your 90s.
Yep.
So
well, I mean, we have a couple of cases of people that were there on day one. The main one being Bob Burr, or I'm butchering his last name, right? That's one, but also the actor Steven something. There's an actor that his job went on Main Street. He worked at the magic shop.
Mm.
yeah, Steve Martin.
Yeah, Steve Martin. Yeah, so he's I don't know how old Steve Martin is nowadays, but
But I don't think he didn't work there on
he
opening.
didn't work there during the construction, but he was there like right around the 1950s time frame, working at the magic shop.
But let's talk about the fact that we only had 10 months to get Disneyland done. Because
Yeah,
even
I'm
though
pretty
this
sure
whole-
Steve is late 60s, early 70s. I don't think Steve's in his 90s.
He's 80 years old.
Oh, he's 80. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so I think he looks good for 80 because he's still doing shows. He does a road show with Martin Short. He does
Martin's first job was at the newly opened Disneyland, selling the guides on the weekends. The work lasted for 3 years, from 55 to 58.
Okay, wow.
So he was under 20 years old when he started working. He must have been like 15.
Mm.
Yeah,
14.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah, but note at the beginning of the film, right? They said it was 10 months that they. I know they advertised.
They had a year. They had a year to do the whole thing.
But it was 10 months
when they started documenting.
They started like building. It took them 10 months, and all of the detail, like Sean was saying, like they only had 10 months and they added so much detail to everything.
What stood out to you the most, Sean?
Oh, well,
'Cause I have a line that stood out to me.
Me too.
I don't know if I remember any direct lines, but I really liked watching them test the Jungle Cruise. And they had the crane lifting the boat up and down and trying to get the boat on the tracks. And I really enjoyed that. And the fact that, well, so the one that I really liked was
track underneath Jungle Cruise. What?
Yeah, there's a track. Yeah,
but I always thought it was just freeforming. You ruined the magic, John.
They're kind of steering the boats a little, but the fact that Disney or that Walt didn't want concrete in his park, and that the Imagineers said no, the only thing that's going to last is concrete, and the fact that they didn't really budget for a lot of concrete because Walt was against it. He wanted to build things like movie sets, which are temporary. But this park is permanent, and so that was interesting that they kind of gave the backstory on that, and the Imagineers won over that. Hey, we really need to build these things in concrete, especially Jungle Cruise. If water's going to be falling over it on the waterfall over and over again.
But they also mentioned in that clip that the Imagineers also, or the builders also, had a really hard time because you had to treat concrete like if it was not concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Right, they were trying to shape it and sculpt it like if it was wood or some other material.
Or something,
yeah. So they were having a hard time there.
Was that your favorite part?
No, the part that stood out to me the most was they have a scene where Disney would come every Sunday, and he's one of the people there, and he's like, "I just got some figures, and we are more than halfway through the budget, and we just have nothing but piles of dirt everywhere."
Yeah.
And the fact that he was scared, he was very scared, right? They were very particular to say that he was scared. And I think as a leader, like that part stood out to me because you're not supposed to let your people know that you're scared.
Yeah.
In the face of adversity, you hold that line.
I've seen that aspect in other documentaries as well as the I can never remember names when I'm talking on camera. But so there's a private tour that you can take if you're a
D23.
Yeah, D23 member, which not bragging, but yes, I pay to be a D23 member, and I attended that last winter, I think it was, and they go into depth about Roy and Walt. Going back and forth on things like budget because Walt didn't really want to deal with that, and Roy was very, very budget conscious.
Yeah,
and Walt is like, I don't care how much debt we need to go into, we're building this. And Roy was, well, no, we're not sacrificing our,
Yeah, but what stood out to me though was the fear, like because I'm always scared as an entrepreneur, and I think it really made Disney more approachable to me at that point.
Same here. I as a business owner, I'm always worried about, I never want to, short my employees and miss payroll or anything like that. And, I don't want to jinx myself, but 26 years, I've never had to do that. There's always, what happens with the future and
we should open up a DevOps park, Sean.
Yeah. So I don't want to cross over too much into DevOps, but that's a concern that we've been having in our other podcast.
Yeah. So what about you?
I think for me, because the first time I went to Disneyland was in 2005.
No.
That was
my first time for your high school.
That was my first time I went to Disneyland. I was 18 years old, about to be 18.
I had been to Disneyland like 200 times by 2005.
Yeah, I know.
That was right about my first time for Disneyland.
Save it for another. We're gonna have another episode where we talk about our first Disney memory. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, folks, and come back for more.
but I think knowing Disney, what it looks like now, and all the way it works and everything, seeing the raw Disneyland, because at the end of that video, I'm like.
It still doesn't look like what it looks like today.
It doesn't look like anything. It looked like a rough sketch of something.
Oh, one of the take backs is they were showing some of the construction of Tomorrowland, and one
brown buildings. What the heck?
Yeah. Like I'm looking at that. I'm like, yes, I think some of that stuff still exists,
but not the round. Lena asked me too. She's like, "Where are those brown buildings at?"
Oh, I think that's the bottom of what used to be the People Mover.
Ah, I
Mhm.
was never around for the People Mover.
Well, the skeleton of the People Mover is still there. You just
No, I
need to
know,
look up.
yeah,
Yeah.
but so
But
Lena throughout the documentary, she's like, "Where's that at? Where's that?" And I'm like looking at raw buildings. I'm
Well,
like, "Oh, that's Frontierland. That's right there, right
no,
there."
because I'm looking at like the way that they put everything, and it doesn't. It's not like it's now
Yeah,
because
it looked
if you
like
look,
Dumbo was off, right?
no, there was no
The
Dumbo,
no,
but
the teacups were cups.
the teacups were like so close to the what do you call
The
the boat,
carousel,
the
the
carousel,
carousel.
and
oh
next
no,
to it was the
carousel,
big boat.
But I mean, but relative to the carousel, the teacups are closed. They just the
Are
t-
they?
yeah.
the
The
toad one
way
comes
the
out.
buildings are, it looks like they're farther away,
I
but
think
they
they
are.
pushed the buildings out, or they when they added
Did
Peter
they
Pan.
move the teacups?
I, I do like that. It confirmed my assumption that the Mad Toad ride, or
Was
Mister
not
Toad ride, it was an original ride. I
okay.
thought it was, but I was in an argument with someone that
Probably
insisted that it
me.
was added later, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure that's one of the original, opening rides. But yeah, when they were showing the stuff going on in Tomorrowland, one of the comments, I don't know if it was the narrator or someone they were interviewing, was, "Yeah, we had to build Tomorrowland with no idea what Tomorrowland was going to have in it."
Yeah.
So they didn't have the concept of Space Mountain at that time. They just knew it was going to be futuristic, and they had this giant rocket that they were going to have as a centerpiece. Which that rocket I don't think is there anymore.
I
I
don't think
forgot.
so.
I
They
forgot
moved it,
who
right?
the rocket is not there. They
Yeah.
have the rocket still, but the
The
one we got
ride,
stuck in,
yeah.
the one we got stuck in. But
Oh.
I think that was the positioning of that.
Oh.
I don't know if you told me this, Sean, but somebody was telling me that on opening day, the cameraman almost got ran over by the Autopia cars because there was no
No, it
track.
wasn't me. I wouldn't be surprised if all, because you saw the crowds on opening day in the documentary.
It
But there
was
was no tracks. There
crowded.
was no tracks back then. They were just go, go,
Yeah,
go, go.
I really, the main reason I don't like either Autotopia rides in either parks is because of the center line track.
Oh, you would have fun at Legoland.
Yeah.
Legoland is off
they
the
have
road.
a free range one at Legoland.
I that's still on my bucket list. I've never been to a Legoland.
Oh, you should come.
My kids were too old by the time they started popping up that we didn't go to a Legoland. So,
Yeah.
Well, it is the SoCal family magic, Sean, and you are the grandpa. So
so yeah, the next time I'm down there, I don't know. The Legoland is a Lego owned park, right?
yeah.
It's not part of the Knott's Berry Farm.
No, it's a Lego. It's part of the Merlin thing. So there are like Merlin owned attractions. There's like
Okay.
hundreds of parks you can go to. But
Okay.
anyways, back to the documentary. I think another part that was interesting to me was this morning I was watching somebody do a reaction video, and something that stood out was like, why now? Why this documentary? Right. And why focus on that period and not talk to the people that are still alive today? Because we have a
Mhm.
lot of Imagineers today.
Mhm.
And when Michael Eisner was in charge of Disney, when he was the CEO, he had Tony Baxter do a lot of the promotions for a lot of the rides that they were building at the time, like Indiana Jones and Star Tours and things of that nature. And he really leveraged the showmanship of Tony Baxter, who's an Imagineer that I personally have met. He was at Disney. I mean, he was at our university
Mhm.
one time and I got to meet him. But basically, those people have opinions and can demand raises. And the guy was basically commenting that by doing a documentary on the past, you didn't really have to worry about most of them because most of them are not around anymore.
Mm.
And like they wouldn't want to like hype up current or still alive Imagineers because of publicity and PR. So
I think that would be a very interesting perspective, though, having the current Imagineers, highlight what they, thought of, previous.
but
Imagineers.
but
in
the
a positive way.
Well, but the other part of the documentary was that Imagineering has changed throughout the years because
Oh, yeah.
back then they were all the Imagineers that built Disneyland in 1955
They
were
were figuring
all
out.
not only were they figuring it out, but they weren't engineers by trade. They were
No.
were
They're
artists. They
figuring
were
everything
animators.
out from scratch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had to figure it all out. Then we have the era of Tony Baxter,
Mhm.
which is they at least they had some technical know-how. But there's the guy with the really big loop earrings. I don't know if you've seen that Imagineer. He built like the animal park in Florida.
Oh,
Like he was in charge of it.
all right.
So there's a couple of key Imagineers that have been or highlighted in some of the other. There's an Imagineering documentation on Disney Plus that came out like in 2019 that has all these high-profile Imagineers.
Mm-hmm.
But those guys, they were more creative, but they still knew some engineering. But the new generation, the new Imagineers, they're all like econ. They're all like people that have just gone up to the ranks at Disney.
Mm-hmm.
But Disney relies on the intellectual property now more than they rely on engineering, right? Because they write stuff for themselves based on their brand, not so much the right experiences.
I see.
Yeah, almost every ride is more IP based than just some
creativity.
like
Peter Pan at the time was revolutionary.
Yeah, but Peter Pan is directly to an IP that they had. The Peter Pan movie came out just prior to that.
Yeah, but still, the point still is like even the Matterhorn. Our Matterhorn is the first steel roller coaster that was ever made.
The Matterhorn has no IP to it. It's just a ride. Same with the Jungle Cruise at the time. I'm not really sure how many other rides. The Ferris wheel, the carousel. It's just a carousel. The
King Arthur's now, no?
Now it's called
well, later it became King Arthur's, but it was just a very well done carousel at the time of Disneyland being opening.
Yeah,
I would say the Dumbo ride definitely IP. The Mad Teacups at the time, I don't remember when Alice in Wonderland came out and if it was prior or post Disneyland.
No, I think it was already there because there is an Alice.
No, it's 65.
Oh, really?
So but no. Sorry. Wait, the Alice in Wonderland is 1865.
Yeah.
That's
Disney's incarnation of it.
Oh, I see.
And because it was definitely when they were putting stuff on TV as well. Because the majority of I like when I grew up, the majority of us saw Alice in Wonderland.
So it would have been there.
Yeah. The one thing that stood out to me is like the whole OSHA thing there next to the
Oh yeah, the guys just walking on the beams.
Turning over. It's like, oh, okay, everybody going like wheelie everywhere.
Yeah, that was interesting.
There's much less rules you have to follow. It shows that creating a park today it costs way more than it did back then. Because of all the OSHA rules. And
so the numbers, they shared a couple of numbers, but some facts that just stood out to me. Number one, it cost them $17 million or something. That was the last number they had said on that they cost them to build Disneyland, but it cost them $400 million to build Disney World. So that was interesting. Disneyland is 240 acres. Disney World has 25,000 acres. Of only which half of them are developed. And 900 million visitors.
For Disneyland, right?
I think across the Disney resort.
Is it Disney Resort or is it just Disneyland?
I'm not sure, but what's more interesting though is that as of 2014, there was only like 300 million. So the fact that in the last 10 years we've gotten more than the first 50 years is mind-blowing to me.
I think the additional park DCA helps a lot.
There's a tunnel that connects the two. That's the other part that I'm like, well, I wonder
when they went about that, but I didn't know about it. Yeah,
there's a tunnel. You can basically, if you're on the monorail, you can visually see the tunnel that is around Tomorrowland that will connect.
That's another thing I've never ridden in California. Is
you never done the monorail?
No, I think I told you that once.
They just got evacuated like a week ago. Both of them.
I heard that. I saw that.
Lost power.
So every time I visited Disneyland, there's no reason for me to take the monorail because I was always walking in from Harbor.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
we just take it to take
we just
it
take
around.
it to take it. Yeah.
I wanted to do that, and I don't remember why I didn't last.
If you ask nicely, you can sit in the front with the pilot.
Yeah. That holds true in Disney World as well. So. If you ask nicely, you can go up and work with but hang out with the pilot crew on the boats that bring you over to Disney World or Magic Kingdom. Yeah.
Well, folks, if you haven't already, do consider checking it out. It is a pretty good documentary. I think it's appropriate. I
Mhm.
think it pays nice tribute to the moments with Walt that they opened up at Disney on the 7th anniversary.
Mhm.
I think it was nice that they, added color, but also kept some of the black and white so you can kind of see
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
the inspiration. Because at one point I thought it was AI generated. Because when I'm like watching those tractors tip over, but I'm like, no, this makes sense. They must have just had all this stock footage.
Well, yeah, that and the frame rates are different between then and now, and so sometimes it looks AI-ish because it's not quite the right frame rate that we're used
Right.
to.
But it was I think it was a good one, and one that Lena had asked. I told her in the morning, I'm like, this documentary just came out. A lot of influencers that do Disney content, they got to see it about a week ago, and they
Oh,
were already posting, and they got to go to Walt's office, and it
I
was
see.
pictures. It was
Yeah.
pictures only, no video, but they got to see Walt's office.
I've been in Walt's office as well. That was part of the
Of
D23 tour.
yeah,
And when there was a clip where Walt was in his office and he was pointing to the planned map of Disneyland, that's still in his office.
yeah. So, but yeah, no, I think it was good. I would watch. I mean, I watched it twice already.
Yeah,
So,
I would probably watch it again. I might, because we're getting this massive cold spell the next couple days, and I don't plan on leaving the house, so I might watch it this weekend again.
if you have Disney Plus, I would highly recommend you watch the Imagineering one from 2019,
Mhm.
because that one goes over a lot of the more newer, like how they built
Mhm.
Shanghai and Hong Kong and Tokyo
Yeah,
and the
and that's
rest.
that's though we need to take a road trip to do those.
Yeah, no, we got to go to all the parks. I don't know if we can go to the Chinese one though, but we got to go to the mall.
I think we should go to. I think we can go to all of them. I don't think.
We'll do some clearances, but it would have been worth it. Folks, subscribe so we can afford to not have our day job, so we can go to Disney all day.
All right, bye everyone.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye.